poplars, past our chicken house and ice house and smokehouse and spring house, all of them painted white with green tin roofs, just like the big house, and all of them empty now because we buy our meat and eggs in town, and the iceman brings blocks of ice for the icebox in the kitchen. Still, it's fun to go poking around in them. Eddie's only 3, 5 years younger than me, but as soon as he gets old enough to really play, they'll make great cowboy and Indian forts. When we walked by the paddock, I gave a great big wave to the carriage horses, who were chewing away on grass and swatting at the flies with their tails. They're getting fat, because we don't harness them up much now that the Duke bought himself the Ford. First automobile in all of Claiborne County. I feel a little sorry for the horses, but the Duke says in a matter of time, only cowboys and fox hunters and circus riders will have horses. The carriage house at the top of the hill is also white and green, and by the time we got there, I was just about to bust from wanting to know what my surprise was. The Duke grabbed a hold of the door handles and said, "Close your eyes, whippersnapper." So I did. I heard that low, rumbly sound the big double doors make when they're sliding apart. "Now, open your eyes," he said. So I did. That's when I first saw it. A wagon. Sitting there pretty as you please on the brick floor, right between the Ford and the carriage. An honest-to-goodness coaster wagon with great big red wheels, bigger than dinner plates, and a shiny black metal pull handle, and smooth wood sides with big black and red letters that read, "Defiance Coaster." Is that for me? You bet it is. Saw it in a catalog, and right away I said, "That's for my gal Sally." I looked up at the Duke. He was staring at the Defiance coaster with a smile in his eyes. "You like it?" Most times, I've got so much to say that no one can get me to shut up. But right then, I was too happy to say a word, so I just nodded, and then kept nodding about 20 times. Had one of these wagons myself when I was your age. Couldn't get me out of it. How about we take her for a spin? Me and you? Old Ida all the time says, I think the Duke hung the moon and scattered the stars. Maybe I do. Right then, I sure did. The Duke pulled the wagon out to the driveway and squatted beside it. I squatted next to him while he showed me how you steer with the handle, how the brake lever on the left side stops the back wheels, not the front. Now, why do you think that is? He asked. I jiggled the handle back and forth and watched the front wheels waggle. Because the front wheels turn from side to side? Right. The back wheels are fixed. You're a natural at this, whippersnapper. Let's go. He pulled the wagon to the top of the driveway and set the brake. The Duke is big, even for a grown-up man, but he sat down in the wagon. I crawled between his legs and tucked my back up against his chest. He smelled good, like cigars and the stuff they splash on his face at Clyde's barber shop after they trim his beard. It was mighty crowded, with the Duke's legs on both sides of me, his knees at my shoulders like a big pair of dark wings, but it felt good. Felt like I could do anything, like nothing could go wrong, nothing could hurt me. He put my right hand on the steering handle and my left hand on the brake. Together, we released the brake. We started to move, rolling down the driveway, slow at first, bumpy over the gravel. Then we picked up speed, faster and faster, and we zoomed right past the horses, and I was leaning forward, staring down the hill, the big poplars coming right at us, the Duke's arms around my shoulders while we both steered, his cheek pressed up against mine, his beard tickling my neck, his voice in my ear. Steady, girl, you've got it. Steady. We barreled through the curve at the biggest poplar, leaning into the turn. Then we straightened out the steering handle and got to that flat part of the driveway at the big house. Jane was standing in the yard, holding Eddie on her hip and watching us.